I started going to GSA when I was a sophomore.
So this is my first year on the GSA board.
Oh, I've been in GSA since freshman year. My friends are like, hey, you should go to this club. And I'm like, okay. And I've been here ever since.
Okay.
I have been called the big F-bomb, and honestly that made me feel confused. I honestly didn't, at the time, I was in middle school, and I didn't know what that meant or who I really was. Like, I was trying to find myself. No one really knows who they are in middle school. And for someone to label me as, gay, and me not knowing what that meant, it made me confused, and at the time I thought, being gay or being different was bad. Like, you should always fit in, you should always fit into the crowd, blend in. And for someone to, call me out, I just felt embarrassed and scared.
And there was these two boys who, they were like, oh my gosh, wait, are you guys like lesbians? And me and my best friend, we were like, hell yeah we are. They were persisting and saying, ew, that's gross, and like, oh my god, that's so awful, and we're like, come on, like, what's wrong with it, like, honestly. And I had that experience, and even though it didn't affect me that much, I was still really shocked to see that there was that kind of homophobia in the school that I went to that I thought was a very safe space.
I've heard people being referred to like a swear word because of their sexuality. It makes me so angry that people don't know, or people just aren't educated. People who use that type of language, I feel they haven't spent a lot of time with people who like aren't straight or aren't exactly like them.
As a bystander, it made me feel like I needed to say something. You feel like you should speak up, and it just kind of makes you feel like just like really conflicted and bad that people around you are using that language, even if they're not meaning it in a harmful way. It still feels like scary and like sad that they're doing that.
I've definitely heard people being called gay, or like, that's so gay, or I've heard not that often people dropping the F-bomb. I've learned that it is very important to stand up for people who are bullied, because it can create a huge impact on them, more impact than you could ever know.
Oh, to me, it means just being accepting of everyone and everything. And I feel loved because I'm in this community, and also like standing up for LGBTQ rights. Like, if someone, like you said before, if someone calls someone a swear word because of their sexuality, you stand up and say, no, that's not okay, don't do that. So that's what it means to me.
Being an ally of this community, I feel like is most important to me, because I feel like this is one of the communities that is most underrepresented and is most often ignored, and I feel like it's one of also the most like heavily bullied and like kind of like prosecuted or pursued communities, and it has been for a very, very long time. And I think that it's important to like support and respect this community and just try and make it a better place, the world a better place for everyone.
I think it's really important that right now, as an ally, that I am able to support my friends and support my family and support all the people who I love, because I do have a lot of friends and family that are part of the community, and just being there for people and trying to end bullying is something that's really important.
Because there's one more person like in the group, it just makes those in the LGBT community that much stronger and that more able to get voices heard.
I think someone is compelled to bully someone for being part of the LGBT community is because they haven't come to terms with it themselves, maybe, or they don't understand it, they haven't learned about it in school, or they just come from a home, a family that doesn't necessarily accept it because of their religion or just based on how they view the world. So when they are confronted with people that do not fit their standards of normal, they are more likely to be confused and, I guess, hate on that person because they're not used to seeing it at home, they just don't understand. And when people don't understand, they're prone to just push it away, say that it's bad, it's not normal. And for the people in that community to hear that, it's really catastrophic. It really just tears you down.
People need to feel the need to negatively affect other people because sometimes I think it's just because they're bored and they need something to laugh at and someone to put down, and I don't think that's okay. And I think other times it's more of a deeper reason. It's more of like a fear or misunderstanding.
People feel the need to be better than someone, basically, or to be like superior, and like makes them feel better in some way. So I think that's just in general why bullying happens.
I think that ignorance is a really huge problem, and people bully other people because they see them as different, and they're ignorant to the fact that difference is important and diversity is important. I think that people try to negatively impact other people because instead of trying to bring themselves up and to understand who they are as a person, they bring other people down.
I wish they would understand that the people that they're bullying are real people, and in another life they could come to know them and like be friends with them, and that by bullying them doing nothing, like there's no gain for them or for anyone else. I mean, if you're making yourself feel better, it's like fake. You're not actually better than that person. And if you feel like you have power over someone because you're bullying them, that power, it's not gratifying, it's just fear. And it's not like, I don't know, it's not just something that you want in general to people to not like you because you're being bullied, or because you are bullying someone.
My message to anyone who bullies the LGBTQ community is that love is love. Why you gotta hate?
I wish that they would know that those, like the people that they're bullying have feelings too, and that they're just people as well. We're all people, regardless of like who we identify with.
Love is love. Why you gotta hate? Like, love is love.
I wish that bullies would understand the effect that they're actually having, because more often than not, the person that is doing the bullying might think it's a joke and they might not understand what effect they're actually having.
You are not just bullying one person, you are bullying us all. And when you're filled with such hate, you're not just hurting the person that you called, the F-bomb or, an insult. You're more hurting yourself.
I would stand up and like be an ally. I would go up to the bully and be like, hey man, why are you doing this? It's not cool. You think you're being cool, but you're not. You're not cool. And I would go to the victim and be like, it's okay, you're not alone. Are you alright?
It really depends on the situation. If it's someone that you know well, or like a friend that's bullying someone, just quickly tell them, hey, don't do that. It's sort of like creating a sort of habit where your friend or other acquaintance will sort of internally realize that what they're doing is wrong, and sort of building that habit will eventually hopefully stop them from bullying as much. If it's someone that you don't know, it's a bit harder. So you can still call them out on what they're saying. It may be a bit more difficult, and of course it's going to require more courage because you're calling out essentially a stranger or someone that you don't really talk to much. So I guess just calling out that behavior and making sure that they know what they're doing is wrong is really the first step. Once again, it really depends on your situation. For me, I'd say it's pretty easy to gauge whether your situation is safe Of course, it's going to be different for everyone else. But generally at school, I would say it's relatively safe, at least at Sequoia, to call out any behavior. Now, if you're on the streets and you witness this, it's really up to your judgment. The most important thing is your own safety. So just make sure that if you are calling someone out, that you consider your own safety.